Hey, what's up? What's up? It is Wednesday, October 4th. Go ahead and get the agenda there. Mr. Farr is going to move forward. Pause the screen if you need it. I'm moving forward. Okay, so today there was an emergency alert test scheduled for today at 11:20. If you're watching this later, you probably already heard it or saw it on your phone. It should have said an air like, right? Something like that. Anyway, and hopefully you read the message. It's for alertness for the country, testing out the system. Is all the things working? Does everything work appropriately? And then if we had a real emergency, then you should read that message on the screen. It's going to tell you about the emergency. That way you can take appropriate action, okay? So hopefully you saw that either on your TV or probably on your phone, because that's where it went predominantly out. And there's more phones. So, well, I don't know. What do you guys think? Is there more phones or more TVs? That's a good question. All right, so I want everyone to go to this page. So this page is modules, and then it is the help center. So I'm going to go ahead and open this. Yes, I have a whole bunch of things open. Don't at me. Okay, so I'm just going to go to courses, and then I'll just go to 5th period because that's my next period. And then I'm going to go to modules. Bada boom, bada bing. And then it should look just like this, okay? Should look just like this. So, again, pause the screen till you get here because I want you to see this. Don't just watch this video. I want you to actually see, like, where we're going. So, again, you'll click here where it says video playlist, all right? Oh, actually, let me explain that a little bit. So, this help center should be the first module. So, if I collapse it, you'll see all the modules. And, again, if you open this up, it just has various things where students might need for help. If you feel like there's a tutorial or something I should make that might be helpful, then let me know and I will do my best to make the video as soon as I can, and then we'll get there. But what I wanted to show you is that we actually have a video playlist in here now, because for some reason, sometimes in the modules where I put the videos at, sometimes it's not working for whatever reason, but I have them up in YouTube in a playlist, okay? So that way you can go back and find the one that you need, all right? So sometimes, again, the modules is being kind of finicky or something. So I will just say click here where it says video playlist, and then it's not going to show here. And the reason it's not going to show here is because it's not a single video. It's an actual playlist. So you have to click right here where it says video lesson playlist, and then that will push you over into YouTube, okay? And then if you look here, here is all of the videos, right, going all the way back, right, all the way back. All right, cool, all the way back to August 8th. Now, I've started it, and I only started these last two. It's to say, all right, it'll put the newest one on top. So we'll start there. If you have anything older than what you see here, then you've got to scroll all the way down and look for it, okay? But I wanted to make it so students didn't have to look so much for it, but it didn't reorder all of them. So I will try and reorder all of them at some point, but today's not that day. Okay, so cool. So then we're right here. Then I just wanted to point this out. Like on Monday, we did a lab, and this is how lab days will work if you're not here. Good morning, so you've got the video, you got the lesson, so you'll watch through the whole lesson. And then if you keep getting through, usually I will talk about the lab. This is all the lab prep right here. And then once the lab prep is over, then I will have short videos of the actual lab. So if you take a look. I got this, they're pulling this, 5 news, and then you're supposed to let it go. That's what it says, release the block, right? Okay, so again, you'll watch that, and then that is the whole entire video, right? That's the whole entire lab. So again, it's just clips from the lab. So if we have multiple lab stations, in this case, we had 4 scenarios. So I filmed 4 different groups doing the scenarios, and I even in this case, I labeled them. Sometimes I'll just show the lab, and so that you'll know what stations there are. But that way you can line it up to what you're doing. So if you're not here, you can watch this video and go to the lab part. Or let's just say you're like, ooh, I didn't really understand scenario 4. Okay, now I can come to this page and then I can do scenario 4 and then I'm good to go. All right, y'all. I just wanted to make sure everyone was clear and knew what was happening there. All right, cool. So what we're gonna do, right? Let's go back to where's the thing right here. Blot out, slideshow, sauce. So everyone go ahead and go to page number 56. So we're just going to talk through this real quick. Okay, so we're going to talk through this real quick. So how do balanced and unbalanced forces affect an object's motion? So If the forces are balanced, right, then the object's motion will not be affected. So if the object is just at rest, it will stay at rest. If it's in motion, it will stay in motion. If the forces are balanced, if the forces become unbalanced, then there will be a change in the object's motion. Does that make sense? So if it's at rest and the forces become unbalanced, now there's a change in the object's motion. If it is just if it's in motion and there is a change in the force become unbalanced, then there will be a change in its motion. Okay? So just remember those two things. Again, if it's balanced, it will remain in its current state of motion. If it is unbalanced, then there will be a change in its state of motion. So that is what we talked about there, number one. Now, number two, if an object is accelerating, and remember we said about accelerating, that is a change in an object's speed. So if it is either speeding up or it is what we would call slowing down. So it's either gaining acceleration or it is losing. There is a loss of acceleration, right? We would call that slowing down, right? Does that mean that the forces are unbalanced? We would say yes, because just like in number one, it is a change in motion, okay? Cool. Now, for this very last one, this is the one where you've got to do some thinking, okay? So you got to do some thinking. Is it wants you to come up with a testable question, and we talked about that yesterday. That means something that we can actually do in the lab. So let me pause this, and then we're going to come up with a testable question that a student actually had earlier. All right, for sure. So this says, right, a couple of things. It says a testable question that involves mass, forces, acting on them, and the resulting motion. So let's talk about this. Someone said, their question was, if two paper airplanes with different masses, right, if the same force is applied to them, will their motion be different? So this is two different airplanes. If you look at this one is made out of, you can barely see that, sheet paper, right? And this one is made out of computer paper. So because of that, they will have, let me see if that works better when it's, no, it's still like kind of weird. Oh, there it goes, right there, like that. So sheet paper and then computer paper. So they have two different masses. Now what you'd want to do in the actual test is make sure they're folded the same, make sure you figure out how to throw them with the same amount of force. But in the question, that is not something you have to figure out. All you have to do is ask a question that is testable. We do have paper airplanes. We can devise a way to apply the same amount of force to both of them. We can also devise a way to make sure that they're the same. So yes, we would say that question is testable. So you want to come up with a testable question. You can ask a question that is similar to that, but again, you want to come up with a testable question. That's all. You don't have to devise the whole scenario of their experiment. All you have to do is come up with a question that is testable, okay? So hopefully that's cool. Make sure to get this scanned and turned in, okay? It is due today. It is due today. So get this scanned and turned in. All right. Okay, so we're going to watch a video here momentarily on offering empathy or empathy in general. Like, what is it, right? So take like 30 seconds, you know, and just think about, what do you think empathy is? Just take a little bit and tell me what you pause the screen, take like 30 seconds and just think about, like, what is empathy, right? Okay, hopefully you are back from your pause. Yeah, you better have paused it, okay? And thought about, like, what is empathy? Now, here's the thing. Most of the time, people think empathy is showing kindness for someone or showing sympathy, but those are what we would say are the outcomes from empathy. So we're going to watch this video and then you'll see what empathy is. We'll define it clearly, and then we'll show some ways to show empathy, and then we'll show how those lead to sympathy or to kindness. All right, y'all. See you on the other side of this video. Let's move forward to this. So let me see if I can make myself like disappear, like totally. I'm not sure. Okay, so I'm gonna try and put myself somewhere where I think, there we go. Cool. All right, so what I want you to do, and I'm going to figure out how to get my little camera back, is I want you to go ahead and pause the screen and then write this inside of your journal. So go ahead and write this definition down for empathy. Okay, so with empathy, a lot of times it gets confused with kindness or sympathy, which is the actions we take once we know the situation of others, right? Or once we kind of have an idea of what we should do for others. But empathy allows you to have like targeted kindness or targeted sympathy. So remember, empathy is the feeling that you understand and share another person's experiences or emotions. And the way, some of these ways that we can like show that, and the reason I say it's like targeted is because if I know that you're tired because you didn't get enough sleep last night, now I can show you caring that has to do with that. So it's targeted specifically to you and what your needs are, or whatever you're going through in that moment. So if you looked at the video, right, the girls are walking by and there's a girl just sitting by herself. So one of the girls, because she's paying attention to the environment around her, this is a way that you can show empathy, is by paying attention to the people around you. And she saw she was sitting by herself, so she went over to her and then started up a conversation, which is another way that you can actually show empathy, which is to say, hey, what's up? Is everything okay? And then listen to them. Then you get a better idea of understanding. So her first level of understanding was just looking at the body language and saying like, oh, 'cause that's mostly how we're able to tell how people are feeling is by their body language, right? And so like for me, that's why every day when you guys come in, I am at the door and I'm trying to see what is your body language. Does your body language communicate the same thing that it communicates every day? If it does, then that probably tells me like everything's about normal. But if you're showing a different body language than normal, right? Like says, I have some people who come in every day like this. That's normal, okay, for them. So if they come in like this, like, hey, right? Then I'm like, what's going on, right? Because it's different. But I have some people who come in, hey, every day. And then if they come in like, you know, then I am already, there's a communication going on there and I'm already saying like, hey, what's up? Is everything okay? Right? So that's one of those things of watching people's body language, asking, and then listening like to them. So these are some ways that you can show empathy. Now, I will say because of some of the things that have been going on at our school, we have shown a lack of empathy. People have been talking about one another behind each other's backs, and you know how that feels. You know how sucky and crappy it makes you feel when someone is talking bad or just talking about you or your family, right? Like you know how bad that feels. And so if you use empathy, then you'll be able to be like, you know what? I don't want to make someone else feel like that. So when someone else starts talking about someone, even if whatever, you'll be like, nah, let's not talk about them. Because that sucks when someone talks about me or talks about my family. I don't like that. So let's not do that for them. So that's another way you can actually show empathy for people. Even when they're not present, you can show empathy because you already know how that's going to probably make that other person feel. And if we had more empathy for people and understood how they feel, then some of these things that have been done, we wouldn't do because we understand that that makes them feel bad. And I know what it is to feel that way, and I don't want to make someone else feel that way. So what we are going to do is we are going to write yourself a paragraph. So inside of that paragraph, what you will write is, what is empathy? You guys already have the definition. Then you'll write, why is empathy important, right? And I have prompts down there. If you look way down there, there's prompts in the assignment. And then what are 3 ways you can show empathy for others? And if you actually read inside the assignment, you'll be able to see all the prompts. I know it's a little bit cut off by this screen, but you'll be able to see all those prompts. This assignment is due today, so make sure that you get this paragraph typed up and done. And also for this assignment here, I think I can show it to you guys. So I'm going to pause this and go. So this assignment's right here. So offer empathy. Okay. Click on that. It's in the modules for this week. And then you'll say start assignment. And if you look here, there's all the prompts for everything for this paragraph. Make sure you have a good 5-sentence paragraph. Make sure also that you reread it before you actually turn it in. You can press play right here. Okay. If you want to rewatch the video, or if you're at home and you're like, I didn't see it or whatever, it should be in this video. We just showed it. But again, you can click it. It's right there. And then you'll say start assignment. And then you'll be able to type right inside here, right inside there, right? So you'll be able to do that. Let me see what other apps there are. Oh, we don't need any of those apps. So anyway, make sure to type it all in right there, okay? And then you can just say submit the assignment. If for some reason you're like, I want to type it up on a Google Doc, totally fine. Just copy and paste it like right into here, okay? Totally fine. And then just submit the assignment, and then you should be done there, okay? Cool. So that actually ends that. We will talk a little bit more about empathy tomorrow. So we'll talk a little bit more about empathy tomorrow. And then what I want you to do, okay, is make sure that you also get this assignment in. So the 2 assignments that you need to get in for today, okay, for today are the page 56, which we went over at the beginning of this lesson, and then also the offer empathy, which is down below, okay? So get both of those things in today. All right, y'all, have a wonderful day. Peace. Oh, and don't forget, show empathy for people, yo. It'll make the world, trust me, a much better place. Peace.